Good afternoon, one and all, and I think yeah, it's good afternoon. So today, while I was invited for to speak on future campuses, I would really would like to thank the ET TechX 6th edition organizers for arranging this aspect event and then creating a topic on future campuses. So before I start anything on that, first I would like to give some statistics on what is the education segment and how it is leading to. If we see that while we claim ourselves world fourth economic country in terms of the GDP, but we still always look out for world-class education outside the country. Okay, if we try to understand what is that is lagging on the Indian context, right? There are many institutional founders over here and institutional builders are there. If we start understanding that, the reason that why should we look out for world-class education outside the country, right? What is specifically and importantly lagging, and what is the differentiating factor? If we see ourselves in last generation, our parents' generation, they were more working for their survivability, right? So while they are working for survivability, obviously the primary phase of education is to have an opportunity for a placement, right? So there were no kind of placement exclusive opportunities that are been there in any education institutions, but then students who used to get educated were been getting good opportunities in any of the government or private institutions. Now going ahead, the next generation, like our generation people, we were actually not looking for survival, because survival is already taken care by the parents, right? It's no more about survival. Now it is about standard of living, right? So our generation were more focused on the standard of living. So what kind of education that we are trying to look out, right? And the first generation is got educated. Now the second generation is coming into a picture. So obviously we expect the quality of the education also to grow better. That's where from government education, public funded institutions, all the private funded institutions came into picture, and there were better equipped with the latest technologies, latest tools, latest curriculums, latest pedagogies. They try to bring in, they invest on lot of amount on education to improvise the quality of the education, right? And then the next generation is what we are trying to face. The generation where the survival is already taken care by the grandparents, the standard of living is already taken care by their parents. Now it is about comfort of education. They always see comfort first. They never bother on the survival, they never bother on standards. Now how do the educational institutions evolve themselves to meet the requirements of the comfort of the life of the students, right? So how we are evolving? If we see in terms of the school education specifically, there are 960 plus schools which has moved from conventional national curriculum to international curriculum and upgraded their infrastructure, and then they changed their pedagogy, the delivery model, the syllabus, the people who are teaching them with the global aspect, right? And that is there in the school education. I really appreciate almost like 960 plus schools are evolved in international school education, where they are making students prepare on a global education platform, right? Is it happening at the higher education? Being in higher education for last 20 years, I definitely say no, right? There are quite definite challenges. Reason being, the faculty that is required in higher education is a challenge by itself. Like one of the institutional founder is here. He knows the challenge of getting a good quality doctor to teach to doctors, right? It's very difficult to get a top quality faculty who can teach in medical colleges, dental colleges, or pharma colleges, let it be engineering colleges as well, right? And retaining them is another challenge. So in this aspect, what should be the future campuses should be? And in the meantime, suddenly AI came into picture. It has evolved. It is moving fast. So what should the future campuses should be like, right? The future campuses, what I presume would be more than a teaching learning model. It should be a facilitating model where you give provision for operating all the AI tools, right? And while you provide the infrastructure facilities to meet the standards of the education that is expected by the present generation, right? So they are fond of good quality infrastructure. They are fond of non-structured mode of learning. They are not interested to sit 9 to 10, you have 1 hour, 10 to 11, you have another hour. The present generation is not interested. So are we matching to the thought perspective of the present generation is very critical, right? And that's what is happening, because I travel across the world, meeting multiple university professors across the world. I could see that there is a transformational change that is happening in other parts of the country, other parts of the world. And we are still lagging on that very fixed, rigid frameworks, right? And we don't give options. Good that NEP came into picture. NEP has now flexibility. It has given all kinds of options to frame your curriculum. It has given options to pick up any multidisciplinary course, to pick up the career option, right? To pick up the choice-based course, and to pick up a skill-based course or whatever. Now, in this aspect of new education policy, I would really think of having an education in 3 verticals, where one vertical we call it a step, where skills, training, employability leads to placement. This is step model, right? Where the first generation, second generation parents are there, the families are looking out for immediate placement, and their education is leading towards placement. The second aspect is a STEM-based education model, where the science, technology, engineering, mathematics or medicine or management, whatever it may be, you have that to move towards higher education and towards research, where they are more keen on deep learning of the subject. It is not about horizontal learning, it is about vertical learning, So they have very minimal courses, but the depth of the course is much higher. I learn certain subject with 3 credit course. I can learn a subject with 6 credit course. I can learn a subject with 8 credit course. The more deeper that I learn, I move towards the research aspect, right? And I keep in terms of getting science as part of my core, right? The third aspect is the student with the present kind of environment, people wanted to do innovate, right? And they wanted to become an entrepreneur, create a startup. The seed is one of the another model that I propose, where the science, the engineering, entrepreneurship development is part of the curriculum. Now, where do I start and how do I start these 3 steps? Whether it is at school level, schools are much aggressive. They have already started this kind of models. They have incorporated as part of their curriculum, over the curriculum, beyond the curriculum. But then higher education is also supposed to start this aspect maybe immediately after the first semester, because first semester they take some time, because people are coming from various parts of societies. So they require some time to come and settle down. The immediate second semester, the students start working towards their career options in terms of either STEM or seed model. And then the infrastructure facilities are to be provided by the institutional framework, right? It could be the institutional builder, founder, and other things. And what kind of infrastructure? Is it really a demonstrating laboratories that we wanted to provide? Or we need to create fab labs where they can go and fabricate and make their hands dirty? That is also very important. Today, most of the institutions have an incubation center with a small space, with seating table, with a chair, and with few staff appointed, and they try to bring in few of the funding organizations like an MSME or a startup fund or some seed fund and other things. And then, because the people who are nominated for that role are also very not equipped with how do we support this ecosystem of startups? How do we support the problem solving nature, right? So that first of all, identify people who really wanted to build. As part of the Vikasit Bharat 2047 aim, it is not about now moving towards looking for employment. It is about generating employment opportunities for the next generation, right? You bring and build a lot of entrepreneurs where you can give employment. So that is what is happening. And the generation is started thinking on that aspect. It is started from school education. They keep on working on various, giving various typical problem statements. They run the idea clubs. They run the, now the schools are also running hackathons, which very rarely I see in my school days, right? And they are running various technical aspects and other things. So they are innovating very fast. So that part, how do we handhold and take it up to the next level? The idea that is been there, if it is linked with a society, how do we connect with the society? How do we convert this idea into POC, proof of concept, convert the POC into a prototype, convert the prototype into an MVP, and to the GTM product? Whether the institution has all the mechanism to build that or not. This is also one of the aspects that we need to seriously think on the institutional building. So what I presume in to be a future campuses is have the ecosystem built, get into facilitation model, not into regulatory model, not into dictation model. That will not work for the present Gen Z students at all. and school students are working with Gen Alpha and Gen Beta students. So this model will not work. Whatever legacy model is there, it has to be completely transformed. So that's what I presume. I feel that this change has to be brought in. Thank you once again for giving me the opportunity by the organizers, including my previous colleague, Brahmam Garu. Thank you, sir.